The latest track from the National Hurricane Center shows a Category 2 hurricane will make landfall in Florida on Tuesday night. Some of our high-resolution computer models show it may be even stronger than that. Hi, everybody, and happy Sunday to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Justice, keeping you posted along the way. I appreciate you following me here on my YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe yet, please consider doing so. I am all things severe weather, WYFF4. I want to keep you posted along the way when it comes to severe weather, when it comes to wintry weather. I'm going to be there for you and show you outlooks in the future. I'm a straight shooter when it comes to severe weather, and in this case, we need to be watching this closely for coastal areas of Florida. It is time to prepare right now. If you're on vacation there, if you have family or friends along the coast, now is the time to consider maybe leaving. If you're near Cedar Key, if you're up near the Big Bend region, this is going to be a powerful hurricane making landfall. And the National Hurricane Center, out of their latest track, is indicating that inch upward, okay? The problem with this system today has been that it has basically been sitting over the same area. It was moving north yesterday. It decided to go down to 3 miles per hour like it is right now. And then it started moving southeast last night. And that's not good. Every minute, every hour that it's in these waters is too long. It's now getting its act together. You see all those thunderstorms firing up on it? This is becoming a strong tropical storm and will continue to strengthen. It will continue to organize as we go into the overnight hours. Let's unpack the new track from the National Hurricane Center. It now indicates a Category 2 hurricane landfall. And the deal with the Cat 2 here from the National Hurricane Center is you got to know, as meteorologists, especially as the National Hurricane Center, they're very measured in their approach. You're not going to see a Cat 1 become a Cat 3. Of course, things happen and they could do that, but they're going to be measured. They're going to step it up. The last thing you want as a meteorologist, as we learn from social science, is you don't want to tell people it's a Cat 1, then a Cat 3, only to bring it back down. You want to steadily measure it up and go up. So I can tell you here, it's important they're going to a Cat 2 here because, not too far away from a Cat 3 if you start looking at what we're seeing out of our computer models. Let me show you the timing on this because Tuesday afternoon, you're going to start to see those impacts approach Central Florida. And then a Cat 2 is on approach by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And then by Tuesday afternoon, it's breezing, folks. It's moving quickly towards Savannah, Georgia, Brunswick. Could still be a very strong tropical storm at 60 miles per hour. That's very close to a Cat 1 as it's moving through Savannah. So wind damage, more of a concern here. You have two things when it comes to tropical systems. It's moving faster, it's going to have more of a wind impact. If it's moving slower, it's going to have more of a flooding impact. In this case, this system's moving very quickly. Therefore, we expect it to kind of hold on to its wind intensity. And you could be dealing with sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. That will bring down some trees, unfortunately, in South Georgia and maybe even parts of the Carolinas if it goes on that track. But I will tell you the trend today has been east and south, to where a lot of this for the Carolinas may be right out to sea. And even more so out of our computer models that just came out, I wouldn't at all be surprised if the new track tonight, because this track did not account for the new European model, the new track tonight at 11 o'clock will. I wouldn't be surprised to see this maybe go a little bit farther south. Not 100% sure, but that's definitely been the trend today, and I'll show you that. Classic bubbling up, folks, and I got to tell you, it is a blessing to have the tools that we have as meteorologists now. We didn't have satellites that were this clear 3, 4, 5 years ago, and this can honestly save lives. I want to show you here, look at this. Look at that cloud top right there punching right through. That is a strong thunderstorm right there near the eye wall of this storm. There's several others like that to the south here. And folks, you can't beat this kind of resolution when it comes to tracking hurricanes. Look at that. I mean, this is just critical. And when you look at the infrared satellite, that's even just as beneficial, okay? The brighter pinks here indicate the taller thunderstorms. That, to me, as a meteorologist, tells me, hey, we got to watch it. All right, let's turn on the wind barbs here. The hurricane hunters have been flying around in this. Basically, they do cross sections. They'll go through it like this. They'll circle back. They'll do this. They'll go back to an X like that. That gives them a sampling of the entire environment. But I was talking to some friends last night. They're not just sampling the environment down there. They're actually sampling the environment up here because the jet stream, the way it's oriented, the way it's behaving is going to drive this system once it gets toward the United States. So the computer models have trended farther south today to where most of them are in great agreement here with Cedar Key to Panama City Beach to Tampa Bay. That's kind of the wide area, but even closer here is basically the Big Bend region through Brunswick, through Savannah, and then back out to sea, with the worst of that actually being right along the coast, if not offshore, which would be good for the coastal South Carolina region. 3 global models in great agreement, and again, the trend is farther south and east. The reason why is this thing meandered farther south. The farther south it moved today, the more the cone had to move because it's in a different spot. So the 3 global models are in great agreement. We take the hood off the GFS. You're seeing now 26 different runs of the GFS model. They are also in agreement, and it has it moving out to sea right there by Thursday morning. The European, even farther south and east, it shows higher impacts for Central Florida, lower impacts for Georgia and South Carolina. In this event, it'd be limited impacts in Savannah and Hilton Head, but higher impacts for Orlando, Jacksonville, and Daytona Beach. And especially if it's a strong Cat 2, that would mean a very big impact to areas like Tampa Bay, Sarasota, could get some pretty big flooding. And, of course, Fort Myers. Fort Myers looked to be out of the woods with Ian. And in came Ian. Instead of going towards Sarasota and Tampa Bay, it hooked right and devastating for Fort Myers last year. So we're on guard anywhere in Florida right now. You need to be taking that serious. Get your hurricane preps ready. Be prepared for a major hurricane landfall. Track has a Cat 2 at 100-mile-per-hour winds. I'd prepare for the worst. I'd prepare for a Cat 3, to be honest with you. That's what some of our models are showing the potential is there for. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that just to prepare you. This thing could be a big one, okay? So we need to watch that closely if you're watching right now in Florida. You've been there, done that, okay? Charleston, Hilton Head, in this solution would get some very heavy rainfall by 7 p.m. Wednesday. But in the Western Carolinas, we're getting breezy conditions. And then same story with the GFS, except for it's farther west. It's more Panama City Beach, Mexico Beach. Then it glides to the north right here. And because it's a little bit farther west, that brings heavier rain into the Western Carolinas. And then it goes east like that and moves on through. There you are with Myrtle Beach, Charleston areas getting some heavy rainfall. And then same story with our high-resolution model. This is a model that we have access to at WYFF4. It's an in-house model, and it's high resolution. It did a great job with Ian last year, and unfortunately, this thing shows it really blowing up, ramping up big time here Tuesday night, Wednesday night Wednesday morning making landfall. Big time storm right there out of that high resolution model. Same story, but showing you the winds right now. It really packs a punch as it begins to move toward the north. Could be a very dangerous storm as it's doing so. We'll have to watch this very closely. Folks, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my page. I do long form tropical outlooks. I look distant out into the future. I have skills at that. It's my passion. I broadcast locally in the Western Carolinas, but I look out for the Southeast. And in any case, I'm able to kind of give you an idea of what something's going to do in advance. So thank you for tuning in, folks. What you can count on is we're going to have much more updates around the clock as we're tracking this powerful hurricane heading toward the United States.